1, 2, 3, wunderbar, man hört mich. Ja, trotz der kurzen Verzögerung, es geht jetzt weiter. Es folgt ein Vortrag des A1200net-Teams und die sind bekannt geworden durch neue Gehäuse und andere Projekte und wir sind gespannt, wie da so der aktuelle Stand ist. Now a presentation of the A1200net-Team, well known for great cases for Amiga and a lot of other products. We are curious to see the current state. Welcome on stage. Take this one. Try it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi everybody. I'm very sorry about my voice. Obviously, we had a lot of talking yesterday night and all the day yesterday. So yeah, I'll do my best. I'm Phil from A1200net. So as you know, guys, we were manufacturing over the last couple of years new cases for Amiga 1200 and new keycaps as well. The first backers, which represent roughly about 80% of the production that we have been delivered already. And batch 2 is on its way, since we were able to fix the latest issues that we had on some of the layouts. So what you see in front of you right now, that is a printing panel, in fact. To make things a bit simpler is that you have ink that goes over those plates to fill in the holes on all the letters you can see. So you have white ink or black ink filling those traces. And then you have pad printing machines, which is the one we use is 30 years old, so that we could actually reach the level of quality that we're expecting, which is rare, but that's the way. And then you have this printing machine that takes the ink in the form of in the shapes of the labels and the letters, and prints the letters on the keys themselves. So we do not have a video of the printing process yet, but hopefully this is coming soon, because the machine is very old and very dirty. It's not really video friendly to show this kind of stuff. So you're going to might to say, look at this old stuff they're using to print my keycaps. But we will have something. So on the next photo, if you don't mind, you have a better understanding of the printing plate. So again, this acts like in photography. It's a negative. So the ink fills the labels, and then the pad printing machine takes the layout, the form, the shapes of the letters and labels on the rubber that prints after that on the keycaps. So it truly is a negative. It's a double negative. So that's the reason why you currently see the labels in the correct drawing way, like the 4 and the G. You can read them. It's not an inverse, because that's a double negative. The negative appears on the pad print themselves, and then the negative will be positive again next on the final step when printed on the keys. You can maybe go to the next photo, if you don't mind. Yes. Are we ready? Awesome. So there is a date in the corner here. So we did have to remake a couple of these panels, and some of them had to be fixed, so that we could have the best printing quality that we expect for you guys to receive on your keys. We are talking here about pad printing technology, which is normally produced nowadays by big names like Microsoft or Logitech. However, those guys, they have crazy budgets for a couple $1 million when they need to manufacture those processors. And they have robots, and all their QCs are going through a photographic detection system. You have computers who take very fast photos at production time, and every defect that those computers, while analyzing those photos, any defects that is detected, the whole keyboard, the whole set is just pushed away. So we don't have this kind of volume, and we don't have this kind of budget, so we do things manually. and that's why some of you guys got some issues with these keycaps, and you'll see that on the next photo, if you don't mind, my friend. Yep. Next one. Gentlemen, please. Yep. Yeah, you know, it's, yeah, thank you so much. So, this is the, this is, okay, the photo is not super clear, but this is the new German layout. So as you remember, guys, if I may know, how many of you pledged the campaign for the keycaps and requested for German layouts? 4, 6 gentlemen. How many of you already got your keycaps? 3. Okay, so half of you still waiting for. Okay, so I don't know, some of you got replacement keys already. I think the gentlemen over there got replacement keys. We had to replace, so we've manufactured 120,000 keys already, and we had to replace roughly 1% of those keys. So it means we replaced 1,200 keys manually. We are a small team. Even our partners, we had to request them, can you allow us, one of you staff, to work with us on this? Because it's just crazy. So 1% defect on a set like this is within normal parameters in the industry. So, but for us, it's way too much. Our audience is small. We are producing small numbers of sets. When in the industry standards, manufacturers producing keycaps and keyboard, they expect 500,000 or 1 million units manufactured. So when we come and tell them, hello, we are Amiga fans and we'd like to manufacture 2,000 sets, what? What are you talking about? So they think we are a crazy bunch of people. But still, some of these engineers over there learned about Amiga, and even a couple of them bought on eBay Amigas. So last time when I visited them, they had Amigas from eBay. I was gobsmacked. I thought, my goodness, hey, it's funny computer. Yeah, sure, it is. So now they know what it is. They know what they're manufacturing. So they agreed with us that the first batch had issues, and they understand because our volume is so small and our audience is so small, we need to add another layer and a couple of extra steps of QC and double testing before packing the keycaps. Next photo, please, if you don't mind. So just to, that's the next topic. Just to finalize with the new keycaps, you have to understand that when we manufacture Amiga 1200 or Amiga 500 cases, which is right now currently under the CNC prototyping process, I thought we would have the CNC prototype to show you guys here. It's just a bit too early for this event, so we don't have it. However, you need to understand that when manufacturing an Amiga 1200 case, that's one case has 2 shells, top and bottom shell. Each of these shell is considered as one form factor. So we have 2 form factors for each case, right? Of course, we have trapdoors, etc., but that's minor. So keycaps, who are going to be mounted on this new keyboard that I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes now, we have 16 different form factors, 16 different layouts on the Amiga keyboard. And these 16 different shapes covers the Amiga 500, 600, 1200, 2000, 3000, 4000. And for instance, as you know, guys, our keycap set supports the Amiga 600. So we had some extra keys in here to support the Amiga 600 and the NC and the ISO layout. So it's a bit of a mess. And when manufacturing 1200 cases, those are manufactured in 2 steps. Plastic injection, remove the case, put in the box. Then later on, of course, ship to backers or now ship to our partners. 2 steps, easy peasy. Yeah. Keycaps, now, first batch, 6 steps. Second batch, 8 steps, because we had to add another extra layers of double checking and quality check, right? So it's, long story short, plastic injection, remove the keys, put the keys in boxes, because we have 16 different layouts. Each box has a number, 1 to 16. Then we have a bunch of people lining beside the cases with this plastic plate, the black one, where you receive the keycaps on. And those guys are picking manually each and every keycaps to put on the plate. Then we have a bunch of other people who double check each plate to see if every single keycaps are correctly placed on the panel before this panel is placed in a big box and shipped to a second factory who takes care of the printing. And then over there we have another team who actually double check again if what they receive correspond to what was shipped. Then they make sure that the keycaps are clean before being processed and printed. After the ink is printed, we have another team that actually checks that all keys are printed correctly. And this is all a manual process. So for batch 2, there will still be some issues. But hopefully we'll be able to bring this down from 1% to 0.5. 0.5 I'm happy with, I can live with that. So we're still going to replace some of the keys, guys, but I'm happy with that. So when this is done, the keys are then put in a oven, so they're a bit like dried up. So it's a UV light that dries the coating of it. And before being put in the box, the cardboard boxes where you received your keycaps with, they are checked one last time. And these are the 8 steps. So cases, 2 sets, easy peasy. Keycaps, that's the last time we do keycaps, guys, for sure. Pad printer, the last one. We have another project for keycaps, double shot keycaps. I'm not talking about this today, but hopefully if the audience follows us, those keys might be a bit more expensive. It's not Amiga related, I already said too much. But those are going to be a double shot. And double shot is just awesome because the labels are in the matter. And you can do all stuff of fancy things, retro lighting and anything you want. So yeah. So regarding the keyboard, and I will finish with that. This is our new product. It's a new 100% mechanical keyboard for the Amiga classic line of computers, all the line. So those switches are not Cherry MX switches. Those switches are our own switches. The quality of these switches are as good as Cherry without paying Cherry any licenses. So it's our own switches. The stems you can see right now, because that's the prototype, and you can test it and use it on an Amiga 500 over there. We didn't have the time enough before this event to finalize the production of our stems in these switches. So we're using Cherry MX stems, okay, inside our own switches, and we had to use a hack or a trick, if you want, to place our Mitsumi keys on these switches. As you can see, the keyboard has a body armor. It's not plastic, it's metal. The keyboard is heavy. It's not a toy. It's a real mechanical 100% keyboard, and you can probably smash the head of someone with that. Please don't do it, right? So, and you can touch it and feel and smell it if you want later on, but that's a real 100% mechanical keyboard and compatible with all the line of classic. Why? Okay, that's a prototype. The top right, you can change the photo if you don't mind. Yeah, okay. Okay, we can see it here. So that's the upper right part of the keyboard. And on this prototype, this is fixed. It's not removable. But on your version of the keyboard, this part is removable. So if you want to use the keyboard on an Amiga 1200, for instance, you just have to remove that part, and you just plug in the part with the long ribbon to plug in the Amiga 1200 motherboard, right? It's a USB keyboard as well. Here. So again, prototype. This USB part will be more into below here because this is removable, right? So of course the keyboard is Apollo Vampire V4 compatible. So with the Amiga 500 case coming, you guess where we want to go with that. We will have a new Amiga with a new mechanical keyboard with the Apollo V4 Vampire. And if you're not satisfied, the case also can host the Raspberry Pi. And then if you're still not satisfied, you can still use this keyboard on your PC because we're going to provide an external shell for it. For Amiga 2000, 3000, 4000 and PCs, we'll have an external shell. So you remove that part. Here you have the serial connector for the Amiga 500. You just plug it. There is no external power needed. Everything is naturally, like a regular keyboard, and you just plug it and it works. Next photo, please, and then this will be the last photos, I guess. Okay, here we see it's a bit strange, right? Here we see the keyboard in an Amiga 500. The form factor of the 500 case and 1200 case, the keyboard fits in it without any issue. There is no tinkering, no nothing. It's a one-on-one replacement keyboard. Open your computer, remove the old keyboard. No need to search and hunt for those parts difficult to obtain. Remove the old keyboard. You put the new one. You swap your keys. Done. It works. Last one. I think we still have one photo. Yep. So we have a better view of the external layout. So this prototype, as I said, is using sadly Cherry MX stems. So the keys are slightly higher. That's not a defect. This is not a defect. So this is normal because the keys are like a bit more higher than usual. However, the final version, you will have the keys at the proper level, of course, with the stems. Yeah. And that's it. I think we've went on to all the photos. So for all of you backers, final product. For all of you backers that have an account into RMI, you know that we are currently working with Amiga resellers, online shops. We have Amiga Kit, we have Amedia Computer in France, Alinea Computer, we have ABS Computer in Spain, we have Amiga on the Lake in Neuss, and now we were able to convince a dear fellow Amiga fan in Australia to open a new display shop in Australia, which is RetroKit. So we're working with these guys. So all of you backers, we want to offer you extra benefits for having supported us. And we'll provide you, I'm sorry my laptop cannot connect on the system, but in a couple of weeks from now, we will introduce a new voucher system in RMI so that you will have, cheaper stuff. It's always good, right? So you will be able to claim for vouchers and use those vouchers to online stores of your favorite Amiga retailer. That's it. Thank you so much for your support and for some of your patience, guys. You're awesome. Thank you so much.